That's his treatment, 10-day treatment, vomitive. He's on the diet. Some medicinal properties for the individual we'll get into. But it's primarily the shaman that is drinking ayahuasca to connect to energies that he's going to utilize in the ceremony, or she is going to use. So it's very different, you know, from this kind of counterculture drug experience that a lot of people are familiar with hallucinogenic use here in the States, you know, besides some of the therapeutic research. There, it's the most conservative thing going on, you know. We're doing it with the grandma, the little kids are there, everyone's there because it's medicine. That's what it is, you know, and on top of everything, it's difficult. It's not easy. It's obvious that it's not for fun. So, you know, in the psychedelic therapy research world, you know, one of the big things that has come out is set and setting. So to make a hallucinogenic experience, you know, one of the key factors in making that more of a therapeutic experience would be, you know, to have proper set and setting. That is to say, your mindset and the context, the place you're doing it. And this is in fact like, you know, what ceremony is. So then in the Shipibo case, we have this very refined cultural technology, you know, over generations and generations and generations. This is the ceremony, this is the set and setting that we're going to use to promote a certain kind of experience with the ayahuasca. And in that, what we're trying to do really, you know, it's like here I am right alongside them, it's too late. The cat's out of the bag, I'm there with them trying to do this stuff. Is, you know, we're trying to get people to connect to healing plant spirits, you know, to feel that energy, at least the concept, whatever that really is, you know, to whoever wants to know. But that's how we verbalize it and talk about it and think about it. And we want to open the world of the medicines of plants so that they can now have an experience, you know, so that they can have a healing. So continue. So this is ayahuasca tea being cooked. This is from Espiritu de Anaconda. So it's cooked, you know, in a big pot. So we get into the ingredients here. Next slide. So here's me holding a big vine of ayahuasca. So this is ayahuasca. It's like a big woody, you know, vine, and this is a young one. It's this particular species, you know, Banisteropsis vine, and there's different varieties. So we always say, you know, we use the cielo variety of ayahuasca. It is, you know, talked about in the culture as La Madre, you know, at least in Colombia, you know, it's a masculine thing. In Peru, it's feminine. With the Shipibos, they like, what? That's not masculine, that's ridiculous. But I know the Colombian shamans, they say that's how it is. So it's all wide open. Madrecita ayahuasca, you know, and so then this is like, she is a mother nature spirit of the Amazon, you know, is the idea. And so she is there to help us and is the doorway into connecting to all these different healing plants. So moving on. This is from the medical perspective. Ayahuasca has at least, you know, these components: this monoamine oxidase inhibiting hormonal alkaloids and serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Prozac type of molecules. This is ayahuasca is a Quechua word, like the Incan language. It's ayahuasca means vine. Huasca is vine, like boahuasca, ayahuasca, and aya is death or spirit. So it's the vine of death or the spirit. So continuing. So the ayahuasca is mixed. Our ayahuasca that we make is mixed with chacruna. So this is chacruna, the Psychotria viridis. So we get chacruna, we mix it up and you layer it in a pot like a lasagna and boil it into a tea and concentrate it over the whole day. And eventually you get into a thick ayahuasca. So, you know, chacruna, the big buzz deal with chacruna is that is the source of the DMT. So the DMT is kind of a hot molecular topic in this whole discussion, and so it is the major hallucinogen, you know, in the mix of ayahuasca. And yes, if we put more chacruna in the ayahuasca, it's stronger. People have more visions, and so that's the balance. If the chacruna is fresh, people have more visions. And so, in the traditional sense, you know, the ayahuasca is the medicine. It's called ayahuasca. It's named for the vine. You know, it's not named for the chacruna. But here in the West, everybody's just focused on the DMT. So it's just kind of this interesting phenomenon. DMT is something that is being investigated. This is Rick Strassman's book from University of New Mexico, a psychiatrist, showing, you know, exploring the idea that DMT is a natural compound in our own bodies and brains, and actually is in so many plants and animals all over the world. And what is its function, you know? And we know that if you give people high dose, they get into these mystical, hallucinogenic, psychedelic experiences. So what is it doing on its own in our body? And so he's explored that topic, and is this what's going on during mystical experiences, or during dreams, or during near-death experiences? And so there's a relationship there. Continuing on. So this, you know, this is the big thing that people are maybe already know here, but the ayahuasca pharmacologic effect and the delivery of DMT, since everyone's focused on DMT, this element of the chacruna, then the idea is that, you know, the entire ayahuasca is a delivery device to get DMT into your body. And because if you try to eat chacruna leaves or DMT, your body, your stomach will break it down, and you will not achieve blood levels that will cause a hallucination. So you have to take it with something like ayahuasca, with the monoamine oxidase inhibitors that are going to block that enzymatic function activity in your stomach, and then allow you to take it into your blood and then prolong its effect in your brain. So that is just a fascinating thing that these shamans and all the people in the Amazon figured out, mixing these two plants, you know, 2 in a million, although there's, you know, more possible opportunities to mix other plants, but still, it's a very strange thing that they bring together. You know, then you talk to somebody like Guillermo, who's tried a lot of the molecules that people are very interested in, and his perspective is, you know, that's the DMT, things like that, that's the formula of the visions, you know, but it's not the spirit of it. You don't get any spirit from that, like what we get in the ceremony. So, you know, it's having, you know, a hallucinogenic experience, which may be in the right setting with DMT. People are making a lot of breakthroughs, or, you know, participating in a whole plant tea-based ceremony in a sacred setting, you know, is what is our focus. So, Spaceship Earth, we have the first ceremony with Russ. So this is a Pablo Amaringo painting. It's related to Ricardo Amaringo. He's a Shipibo artist that was an ayahuasca shaman and started painting, you know, the images that he saw in the visions. So let's hold it right there for a second. So this is the first ceremony. So what happens? So you're dieting, you have a room, you're staying at this retreat lodge out in the Amazon, and then you go to, once everything's set at 8 p.m., we say tomorrow night we have ceremony, you know? So at 8 p.m. you go, you have your mat, you know, in a little spot, you've got your pillow, your blanket, and you're just waiting till 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, then we serve ayahuasca, you know, to everyone that wants ayahuasca. And then the shamans drink ayahuasca, and then we turn the power off. You know, we run on a generator, we're off the grid out there. So then we just go, and it's just the sounds of the jungle, you know, guiding the whole rhythm of everything. And then we wait, you know, and that's what goes on. So everyone's sitting there quietly, you know, maybe some people have their first time jitters and all that kind of stuff. And as it starts to come on, you know, then the shamans are going to get started. And so what everyone's coming for is to be guided, you know, by the songs. And so they start to open the ceremony, you know, before it gets going. There's Icaro is the song. That's the shamanic song that you use, the healing song. And then Shushumi Icaro is just a little quiet song. So everyone's sitting around waiting, and Ricardo or Guillermo, they start feeling something. You know? So they need to start their protections. You know, start. You know, just like that, you know, it goes on and on. And then you know it's starting. You know, the ceremony has begun. Then before you know it, then he's going to start belting out song. So he's opening the ceremony. Ricardo is opening up his medicine. You know, he's already laid down a protection on himself, on everybody else. We're going to open up this space. We're going to open up the world of quantum physics, or whatever you want to call it, and try to connect ourselves to the spiritual realm, and now to do it, to try to heal people. So that's where we're at. So next slide. So rapidly that night, as it turns out, we had a dud night earlier, and they felt badly about us, so they made this incredibly strong batch. And Jared was there, and we were a little, so, you know, it was very quick that everybody was totally floored. And But it wasn't, that wasn't the worst part. So this was the first time that I worked with Ricardo Amaringo in ceremony, you know. So I'm bringing the group and I think, okay, here's the group, you know, we do our thing. I hadn't been, you know, I'm not a regular ayahuasca user or shaman, you know, I'm back here doing my doctoring work, staying away from that stuff. And I show up and then I'm in the ceremony, we do the whole thing before we get to all this icaros that I just talked about. People are filing in and, you know, they say, oh, don't worry, Joe, we're going to make a strong ayahuasca for your group, you know, we feel badly, oh, okay. So we go and then we're waiting, you know, we all have our spots just like this. And then Ricardo walks in alone, you know, I don't know if you remember that, but he walked in alone. And I usually have somebody help him, you know, in the ceremony. So I said, well, he sits down next to me. Ricardo, what's the plan? You know, oh, well, you know, we're going to drink ayahuasca, you know, do the ceremony. I'm like, yeah, but you're all alone. You know, who's going to help you? Oh, you're going to help me, Joe. I'm like, what? You know, I'm going to help you. I was like, I don't think so, Ricardo. Yes, Joe, you're going to help me. Oh, man. So then, now we can move forward. So then, you know, Ricardo does Shushumi Ikaro, opens up the ceremony, and now it's just going, you know, gangbusters in there in the Maloka. And then he calls me over. So then one of the aspects of the diet, you know, the Shipibo diet is that, I was dieting coca. So for me to diet coca well, then he's going to connect me to the energy of coca in ceremony. So he's going to open my diet with a song. And then later he's going to close my diet. And that'll be the closing of my treatment. He's like, come on, Joe, you know, come sit up here and I'm going to open your coca. So then, you know, I'm there and it basically looks something like this. This is Alex Gray's art. I was completely blasted, you know, it was just some of the heaviest experience of my life along those terms. And his song was just lighting it up, you know, and that's one of the things that's just so curious and strange about this tradition and this practice is that the song, the effect it has on the effect. And so just lighting it up to a point where I was just, you know, my brain was just dissolved, gone, and I was just there to receive, you know, the opening of this diet, and I was like, I can hear coca every now and then and a bunch of Shipibo words, and everything's moving, light, dance, and there's Ricardo looking something like this. So then after that, okay, Joe, you ready now? You know, and I was like, whoa! Like Ricardo, it's gone. Like, I don't remember anything anymore. Like, I don't know who they are. I don't know why we came here. And then, go ahead and move to the next slide. And then he's like, no, Joe, you know, concentrate. You know, concentrate yourself. That's how this works. This isn't just like that. You don't drink ayahuasca just to see what's going to happen.